Morning. How you doing? Doctor here. Just wanted to check in. It's been a minute. Too long, in fact. But anyway, here I am. Just had a lovely little breakfast after getting out and getting amongst it and getting 45 minutes done for 75 hard. Day 3. Well, the first 2 days were all right, but still, it's going to be a challenge, I can see. But anyway, it's all about the mental game, which is what I wanted to up anyway. So the title of this says, you living or just surviving? And I asked that question because I was listening to a podcast while I was out for a walk. They were talking about legacy and they were talking about the fear of death, essentially. And it wasn't necessarily the fear of dying that most scared the host of the show. It was the fact that what if he died without leaving a legacy? What if he died with only being mediocre? So that led me to another podcast, and then it led me to a post that I saw that somebody made about chasing money, right? And about how you can basically have your cake and eat it too. And a comment on that was, most people that chase money never get quality time with their family. Now, I went and had a look at this dude's profile, and fair enough, his number one priority is being a dad, and that's so freaking awesome. But you know what? Being a dad's one of my highest priorities too. And my comment to that was, I probably make more money than most doctors and lawyers, right? With what I do. Cool, whatever. That's no big deal. Anyone can do what I've done. It's not that difficult. But then I thought back to my childhood. And while I had a loving childhood, I was loved, I was nurtured, I was given all the things that I needed. The biggest memories I have of my father was the fact that he went to work in darkness and came home in darkness. Yes, he was the coach of my footy team. Yes, we got to spend time together. But really, he was always gone by the time I got out of bed in the morning. And most of the time, I was close to bed by the time he got home from work. Now, we didn't come from money. I don't make the money that I make because I came from a family that made it. I make the money that I make because I get out and I make it happen. So that then comes into, are you living or just surviving? Because I know there's been seasons in my life, and I hate using that word, but there's been seasons in my life where I was just surviving, literally just surviving, just going through the motions day to day. And that's no way to live. But, having money doesn't change that either, because you can still have a shitty existence even if you got heaps of money. Even if you're earning a shit ton of money, you can still have a shitty existence. It's all about what you do up here. And that's, I guess, why I started 75 Hard, is because I want to improve my mental game. I don't think that I'm sharp enough there. Intelligent? Yeah, sure. Sharp enough? Mentally tough enough? No. I had dreams once of that. I would have loved to have joined the SAS, Special Air Service in New Zealand, top regiment, right? And as a serviceman, I could have done that. Would I have passed it? Probably not. Was no way mentally tough enough. And I never have been. As a kid, always was bullied, I guess, if you go down that path. But then when I think about that, I'm reading Never Finished by David Goggins at the moment. Now, if you don't know who David Goggins is, go and look him up. He's freaking epic. But looking at that, and he went back, in the first chapter, he talks about going back to see his father the last time. And he was heavily abused by his father, and so was his mother. And he went back because he thought he might be able to get a bit of a free pass. He thought he'd go back because he's like, well, I'm a piece of shit because of this guy. So he wanted to be victim. But he realized once he got there that, no, well, that's not the truth. That there's only one person responsible for that. So whether you're just living or surviving, whether you want to leave a legacy or not, or whether you think that going out and working for money means that you don't have to spend, or you can't spend time with your family, then that's all just a story that you tell yourself. How many stories are you telling yourself that keep you constantly stuck? How many stories? Is it, I'm not tall enough? Is it, I'm not good looking enough? Is it, I'm not wealthy enough? Is it, I don't have enough time? They're all stories. Look, I could argue that I don't have enough time at the moment too, but I sit and think about what I've done over the last 3 days, other than obviously what I'm focused on with 75 Hard, what I've done over the last 3 days, and I think, Andrew, you have done jack shit. You have procrastinated. You have done nothing. So it's never about time. It's all about the priority that we put on what we're doing. So whether you're living or thriving is simply a choice in which you can make, in which you can say, okay, I actually want to get out. I actually want to live. I don't just want to survive. I don't just want to go through the motions day after day. Because going through the motions day after day, you might as well go and, you could go through the motions for 80 years and then die. So what? Or you could go out and create the life that you want to live. Now, I'm grateful for the life that I've created. Yeah, it's been fucking hard. Yeah, there's been some really shitty times, some really dark times, but I'm grateful for it. And while I might not be utilizing my time as best as I can all the time, I know that I'm making a difference. I know that I'm moving forward towards what I want to be doing. And I know that every day I'm going to get mentally stronger to be able to fulfill on those things. And it really comes down to being purposeful in what you do, knowing what you do. I used to think that, maybe I got down, when I got to my lowest point and I wrote my last book, The Motivation Code. When I did that, when I finally wrote that book, it became really, really apparent to me that most people fumble through life or go through the motions day after day is because they don't have a clear picture of what it is that they have to do for that day. They don't have a clear outcome of what it is that they're working for. So when you get clear on that, when you drill down on that outcome, then everything starts to fall into place. The how doesn't matter. The how will take care of itself. What is the outcome that you want? What is the outcome that you want? Who do you have to be in order to get that outcome? The how will take care of itself. It'll show up. Now, here's the thing. You've got to be attuned to that. You've got to go, okay, maybe this thing's showing up in my life because it needs to teach me a lesson. Maybe this thing's showing up in my life because this is the exit that I need to take. Now, Merrick, how you doing, brother? Now, there's a song that comes on the radio every now and then for me, and it's a song by Pete Murray. Opportunity is the name of the song. And funnily enough, ironically enough, I only ever hear it when I'm about to make a big shift in my life, when there's something I'm about to do. And it just happens. And it's funny, the hook says, hold on, your exit's here. It's waiting just for you. Don't pause too long. It's ending way too soon. So basically, when opportunity comes, it's not going to stay there forever. You've got to be able to recognize it. You've got to be able to move forward with it and take advantage of it. Yep, we go through ebbs and flows in our life. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be beer and Skittles, but it's always going to be worth it. There's always going to be a lesson in there that you can take, that you can put into practice somewhere that will make your life better. Always, as long as you look for that. Otherwise, you could just play victim, and I've done lives on that before. You could just play victim and say that it's outside of your control, that it's somebody else's fault. And that's your choice. You can do that. But just know that when you do that, you'll never, ever, ever have the life and freedom that you want. You'll probably end up a socialist. Food for thought. Anyway, that's my 5-minute rant. I'm out. Ka kite anō. Talk soon.